Hello viewers and welcome to my channel Jackson's Journal. My name is Matthew Jackson. Today I want to talk to you about the Colorado Buffaloes. This is part 2 of my commentary on the Colorado Buffaloes, and the last time I gave a commentary on the University of Colorado Buffaloes was about a month ago, after they had played their 3 non-conference games against TCU, Nebraska, and Colorado State. And then when I gave my commentary then, I said I would give another commentary at the bye week. So they just had the bye week. It's a Monday today, and last Saturday was their bye week. So now I'd like to give you an update, or at least my take and observations of the Colorado Buffaloes up to this point. Now, at this point, their conference record, their overall win-loss record is 4 wins, 3 losses, and then their conference is 1 win, 3 losses. So, needless to say that the honeymoon period for the Colorado Buffaloes is over after their blazing start, going 3-0. They ran into some problems with Oregon on September 23rd. It was a blowout, 42-6. And now Oregon has a good program, and of course I expected Oregon to do well, and I didn't really expect the Buffaloes to beat Oregon, even though in my heart of hearts, yes, I wanted that to happen. But yeah, they got walloped pretty good, 42-6. The next week they played Southern California. They lost to them as well. Now with the game against Southern California, they actually played in Boulder, Colorado, and the Buffaloes made it a much closer, competitive game. They lost 48-41. The next week they played Arizona State. They beat Arizona State, so that's their only conference victory up to this point. They beat them 27-24. Arizona State put up a good game, gave them a run for their money. They had to come up with some heroics in the last minute to get their team into field goal range to kick a field goal. So it was, but they won. And then against Stanford, they lost to Stanford 46-43. Now, Stanford is like Arizona State. They're weaker programs who I expected the Buffaloes to beat. So they beat Arizona State as expected. They did not beat Stanford as expected. At one point in the game, they had a 29-point lead against Stanford. Stanford came from behind, 29 points. And they went ahead and beat the Buffaloes. So that probably was your most disappointing loss of all the losses the Buffaloes have experienced this year, because that's a game they should have won. Now, the good news is the last 4 games has basically revealed where the weaknesses are in the Colorado Buffaloes football program. And now Coach Prime can get a better view of his weaknesses, know how to address them, and make adjustments. So, and again, I never expected the Buffaloes to run the table, go undefeated, go to the championship game, and win the national championship his first year with the Buffaloes. So, even though their record is 4-3, it's still light years better than what it was last year when they went 1-11. So, yeah. So, now let's look forward to the remainder of the season. They have 5 remaining games. Now, 3 of these remaining games are going to be against programs that are good programs. They're going to give Colorado a tough time. Their next game is with UCLA. That's going to be on October 28th. After that, on November 4th, they're going to play Oregon State. another good program. And then on November 17th, they're going to be at Washington State. That's more of a mediocre program. I would expect Colorado to beat those guys, okay? Where I may not have that high expectation with UCLA and Oregon State. After they play Washington State, they will be at Utah and play Utah. Now, Utah has a good program. They were 10-4 last year. So, again, those are your, as of now, they're ranked 14th according to the AP poll, or they were earlier. So yeah, UCLA, Oregon State, and Utah are going to be your tough teams that they're going to have to face. Where Washington State and Arizona, not so much. But again, you can't take any team for granted because look what Stanford did. Now, another thing I talked about in the last video was the Pac-12 and how the Pac-12 is dissolving. In the last video, I talked about how Oregon, USC, UCLA, and Washington, they're going to be headed to the Big Ten and become part of the Big Ten Conference. And then Colorado, Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah, they'll be going to the Big 12 Conference. Now, at the time, 4 weeks ago, we did not know what Oregon State, Stanford, Cal, University of California, Berkeley, and Washington State were going to do. I have more news in that department. Stanford and University of California at Berkeley, those two teams, those two colleges will be joining the ACC. That's another power conference, just like the Big Ten and Big 12 are power conferences. The ACC is a power conference as well. So that leaves Oregon State and Washington State. What is going to happen to those institutions? What conference will they go to? Right now, it looks as if they might be going to Mountain West Conference. However, that is not official. Do not take that as gospel. As of the time I'm recording this video, they're at the talking and negotiating stages. So nothing's been confirmed or official. Probably when I do my next video on the Colorado Buffaloes at the end of the season, it will probably be official. But right now it's not. So, but yeah, it's looking more and more like they'll be going to the Mountain West, but who knows? So, that's basically it. I think Coach Prime has the Colorado Buffalo program on the right trajectory, even though he may not be happy with some of the results that he's seen so far, and obviously there's some areas where the program needs to improve. I think Coach Prime is very confident in attacking those areas. I think at the end of the season, he'll have won more games than lost. I think Coach Prime will be in a very good position to do recruiting in the wintertime, in the early springtime. He'll be able to recruit some players. Hopefully he can get some good blue chip athletes from the high schools that will help fill in the gaps in his program. So, if I was a parent of a high school student who was a blue chip player that has high prospects of being recruited by a Division I program, I would want my son to play for Coach Prime at Colorado University. I have that high level of confidence. I think a lot of parents would want their kids to play for Coach Prime because they know that Coach Prime is going to keep their kids on the straight and narrow. So, yeah. So I'm very encouraged by the Colorado Buffaloes, and like I said, they're my new adopted NCAA football team. So until the end of the season, I will have another take for you on the Colorado Buffaloes and see and we'll reassess the remaining 5 games, conference games. So thank you for watching, and please feel free to subscribe, share, like my videos, and make comments. And if you have comments on the Colorado Buffaloes, I certainly would like to read them. So thank you and God bless.